You now.
We're doing an animal painting, this chameleon. So what we're going to start off with is a background in color, and we're going to think about what kind of chameleon. So mine has dots, but when it comes to you decorating yours, you can think about lines, you could put dots, you could put any colors you like. And as you can see, my background and my chameleon color are a bit similar. So I'm going to do a different colored background for our real one. Let's think of like any color you like a big fun color. First thing you will need is you're going to need you'll need something to draw just to get the shape of the chameleon. So maybe a pencil or a texter. Doesn't really matter because we're going to paint over it. You'll need some paintbrushes. If you only have one size, you'll have to do. But if you have a couple of sizes, it's good to have a nice big one and then one that's a little bit smaller. You're going to need some colors. Now with your chameleon, we're thinking of greens. We're thinking of yellow, red, those sorts of colors, brown for the tree. If you don't have those colors, that's all good. Maybe you'll make a really bright, colorful chameleon. So don't worry too much about the colors. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start drawing our chameleon. So you want to get your piece of paper, nice big piece, or A4, it's up to you. We're going to start with drawing the chameleon head. So the chameleon head is kind of like, if you look at this one, it's a bit of a triangle, isn't it, on the side? So we're going to start with the triangle. I'll just see really quickly what the first questions are before we start. Are they questions about not being ready? What do we, Dennis, what's your question, lovely?
Can we use water paint?
Yeah, definitely.
Or does it have to be like?
No, use watercolor, it's fine. And I'll double check what Emily wants to do quickly. Dennis, could you mute for me? What was your question, Emily? Oh, Emily, you've got really bad connection. It's not working there.
What if you didn't have yellow paper?
Don't have paper?
What if you didn't have white paper?
Hang on, any color paper.
I need white paper.
It doesn't matter what color paper as long as you have paper to paint on.
Okay. But I got white paper.
That's all good. I'm going to get you to mute for me and we're going to start now. Thank you, lovely. All right, so first thing we're going to do, we're going to put our head. If you have a look at this guy, I touched the paint. His head is not right in the corner, is it? It's kind of a little bit down and a little bit to the left. You can use paper, you can use canvas, you can use anything to paint on. You can still draw on canvas, you just have to be a little lighter, not to push through it. So we're going to start by finding the center of your page. You're going to move down a little bit and to the left, and this is where our head's going to go. So sort of like this area just here, slightly off to the edge. We're going to start by drawing a triangle. So we'll come down and draw a triangle. I might use a darker pencil for you. Do our mouth. Oh, you can't see it here. I'll make it really dark. Start by coming down with a triangle, doing our mouth like this sort of shape. Then we're going to follow through with the bottom of the mouth and then straight up. So I'll draw it out for you. Bottom of the mouth and then come straight up. Now, because chameleons are funny looking things, if it is not a straight line and it's got a bit of a wiggle in it, that'll make it more effective and it'll look really cool. Also, amazing thing is we're going to go over it in paint or watercolor or crayons. So it doesn't really matter too much if you accidentally do a bit of a silly line. So we do our little triangle. We start at the top, we come down, go straight across for a mouth, take our pencil off. Awesome, that looks so good, Isaac. Start again at the lip, go down, across, just after the end of that lip and all the way up. How are we going with this one? Oh, they look so good. Look at that, Addie. That looks awesome. Sorry about the hiccups. Oh, very good, Zara and Tegan. They're looking great. And Albert. Awesome. So it's time for the eyeball. Our chameleons have a little bit of a funny face. Their eyes are not in the center. They're a little bit closer to their mouth and a little bit back. So what I'm going to do is I'll start off by putting his pupil, just a little dot, like so. And then we're going to go around that to make an eye. Chameleons always look like they're a little scared and worried, don't they? That's a little eye for our chameleon. Awesome, that looks so good, Isaac. Very good. Oh, I love your worried little chameleon, Tegan. It's looking great. So the next step with our chameleon is we are going to draw the back. So we're going to start about just after the top of the head, so just a little bit lower down. We're going to do a big line, not hit the back. We'll go curve it down, come down the bottom, curve back up into a curve that way. So we're going to start by doing a big shape that goes this way, down and back up. So the big one. So we'll line it up just below, going over, coming down. See how it's coming all the way down. Bring it back up again for our curly tail. If you make a mistake and you think it's too close to the edge, all good, just draw it again, because we're just going to paint over it anyway. Whoa, I drew off the edge. So I thought mine was a little too close to the edge, so I'm just going to draw it again. See, this middle line is much better because it's not as close to the edge. This one's too close to the edge. If you have an eraser handy, you can just rub out that line. If not, no worries, you're just going to paint over it anyway. I'll do it so you don't get confused with that other line. So I'm just going to rub out that line that I don't like. I thought it was a little bit too close to the edge. This is the good thing with art, is we're always changing and developing our work. And if we need to, we can rub out something and try again. We've got our chameleon body. The next step we are going to do, I know this is going to be very funny, we're going to do the legs. Does anyone need a little bit more time to finish the back? I'm just going to have a look through how we are going with our back. Oh, that looks so good. Yes, good job, Hitesh. Oh, very good, Abigail. Ah, yes. Awesome. Oh, these are looking great. All right. Moving on to our legs. So we're going to think about, this is our head. We're going to take it from our eyeball. We're going to move down a little bit in a diagonal. In this area here, we're going to draw a leg because he's going to be on a log. So we're going to draw a shape like his feet. See this strange little shape? It's kind of like a funny looking ear, just below his head and in a little bit. Just below his head and in a little bit. Then we're going to make it into a leg. So we're going to follow it along into a straight leg shape with a little bit of a pointy edge to the side, like so. That's our little leg. This is our elbow, so we're going to make the next drawing here. Do I need to slow down, Emily? I'm sorry. So that's our little leg. And we're going to add this other shape, so it's going to be like a rounded shoulder shape that attaches to our leg, like so. So he's got his elbow kind of up and holding onto the branch. How are we going with our leg? They look so good. Yes, Isaac. Good job, Emily. I love the cute little eye you did. Oh, yes, good job. Oh, everyone's doing so well. All right, on to the next leg. We're going to put the next leg directly below this leg. So we're going to do the exact same shape again for that foot. But we're doing a different leg this time because this is the back leg. So see how the front leg comes down and goes this way? The back leg is going to go up and go that way. All right, Dennis, I might see what your question is quickly. What is your question, Dennis? Awesome, look at that leg.
Why do we need newspaper?
What'd you say?
Why do we need newspaper?
Oh, for the table, so that you don't dirty the table.
Oh.
Just to protect your table. I have a bag.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just to make sure that you don't accidentally get paint everywhere. All right, next step is we're going to do the leg this way. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this top one, take it up into a knee and back, shaped like this. Then you're going to attach this one, go skinny, and then make a big circle at the bottom. I'll draw it out darker so you can see what I've done. So that's our back leg, and that's our front leg. Hold it closer. There we are. So it's like a line that goes straight up and curves like a knee. And then this one, this is his thigh or her thigh, whatever your chameleon is. It could be a boy or a girl. Or it could just be a happy chameleon. It doesn't have to be a boy or a girl or anything. Look at him, he's coming together, isn't he? He's looking like a chameleon. Or she, or they, I don't know. I'm sorry. The chameleon is looking like a chameleon. Oh, that looks so good. Good job. Yay. Good job, Emily. How are we all going with our chameleons? Oh, yes. Oh, my gosh. Addie, that back leg is good. Good job, Tash. Yes. It's a very good close-up. AK iPad. I don't know your name. I'm so lovely. Good job, Abigail. Yes, Tegan. Very good. Oh, yes, Jacinta. Good job. All right. We are moving on to the next step. We are going to connect the bottom of our neck to our body. So we're going to start just, you see where his little mouth is? We're going to start just below that. You can see that line there. You're going to take it along and into the arm. And then you're going to follow that line down into the back leg, like his little tummy. Oh, Alicia, okay. And then you're going to take the tail. See how with the line, so that we don't accidentally do it off to the side, I just do a really light line to pretend that it would be going through to tell where it's going. I don't draw really dark in this bit, but I do it really light so I can tell where that leg would actually come from. And then we're going to spin it around, take it down and spin it into a little circle. So it's going to be a nice big long tail. And you have to extend your tail up the top to get your swirly tail. So we follow this line, we bring it all the way down and extend it. And then we see where this line stopped off, we just bring it into that one. Look at our cute little chameleon. Our chameleon needs some Jubilee bits next. They need that little Jubilee neck and the Jubilee on the back of their neck body. Oh, awesome. So the next step is you start at the chin. Don't start right on the edge. Start a little bit off to the side a bit. And we're going to take it down, wave it out, and take it back up. I'll draw it a little darker, wave it down, and take it back up. So you've got his little jowls. Sorry, I'll slow down. My bad. He looks like he's got a little beard now, doesn't he? Like a father chameleon. If you've already done this little Jubilee bit, you can start off, if you're ahead, you can do one that starts here, goes around a little bit, but stops when it gets to about halfway. If you want to add a little wobbly bit on the back. If you're still up to this front wobbly bit, just keep going with that one. Ah, awesome, good job. All right, I think we are ready to move on to the next bit. Oh, I moved it up too high. So start from just behind the back of the neck, and you're going to add your wobbly bit all the way. And as it gets towards the back of your back, it gets smaller, like so. So we started about here, wobble it up, and as it gets down here, it gets smaller and smaller. Oh, very good. Have you got your wobbly bit on the back, Syra? Have you added this bit? Oh, wobblies. Yeah, awesome. Sorry, it was a bit hard to see. So we've got our wobbly bit on the front and our wobbly bit on the back. My chameleon looks like he's definitely eaten very well, eaten all those bugs. How are we all going, getting our wobbly bits in? Oh, look at that, Albert. Good job. All right, next step. We are going to draw in the tree. So we're going to start from just above his nose. Mine does too. Mine looks like he's eaten a lot of food. He's a happy chameleon. We're doing a straight line here above his nose. So like it's the top of our tree, just like that. And we're going to pretend the tree is coming this way. Draw it from under his chin, down a little bit. If it looks a bit square, when you paint it, just paint it a bit rounder. Once you've done that line, we're going to connect it down here as well. Like I do the little over the top, I do it really lightly so I can see where I'm going. Then I do this one really dark. So make sure that your legs are on the tree trunk. Then we're going to do this line down to here. Again, go over it really lightly to start off with, and then draw it harder on the other side. So it should be forming a little tree looking branch. It's because we've got happy fed ones. They're not fat, they're just very happy. They get lots of yummy worms and bugs and whatever else they eat. Once you have that bit of your tree trunk, we're going to do the rest of it, coming all the way down and into the bottom. So once it gets to the bottom, we're going to curve it a little bit so that it looks like a tree coming out of the ground. Like so. So you followed your line along, coming down, and see how it curves a little bit so that it's sitting flat. Then all we have to do is add in that last other side of the tree trunk and it's on to painting. And the other side of the tree trunk is quite easy to do. We just have to follow along that way, coming down here and then going straight out this way. I'll draw that in nice and dark for you. So you start decently even, coming in. Make sure you do not draw over your tail heavy. We lift it up and we jump down to here and then we draw again. And that is your tree. The next step is painting. So if you have your water and your paints ready, if you are ready to go, have out some colors for your background. Now this is up to you, whatever color you'd like for your background, because it's just the background. But I think I might do a bluish color, because I thought that green was a little bit too green. Now, never worry not to mix colors. Mixing colors is great. Sometimes if you mix a dark color into a lighter color, it will mute it out a little bit and make it look nice. I'm going to mix some colors together and make some fun colors. Or maybe I'm not, because my colors don't open. Miss Addison has got water everywhere. Sorry, Miss Lauren has got water everywhere. This is why we put newspaper down, to protect ourselves. All right, so you want, with your painting, has everyone finished drawing? Actually, that's a good question. Show your, yep, thumbs up, just like this if you finished drawing. Awesome, awesome. And we're ready to go. Yes, 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 amazing. All right, onto the drawing, onto the painting. So get yourself a color for your background. I'm going to do like a bluey color. You can do whatever color. If you want a pink sky, have a pink sky. If you want him in a forest, put him in a forest. That's up to you. Try and make sure your paintbrush is nice and covered. You want a slightly bigger paintbrush so that you can cover the whole area. Now, add a little bit of water. My scissors are covered in paint. Add a little bit of water so it's a little bit thinner and it will dry a bit quicker. We're going to start with the big areas. So turn your page that you're painting along it. Start off with your back area. You're going to follow along that line of that tree. Try not to hit it. Follow along the line of your head. Try not to hit it. So just outlining those areas. If you have a tiny paintbrush, this is a lot of painting to do. Yours look shy. They all look so scared, don't they? If you accidentally paint over your lines, that's okay, because we are going to just paint them again anyway. So we're painting the whole area on the back, the sky. Make sure your water, you've wet your paint a little bit so that it's a little bit easier to move. Because if it's just straight acrylic, even if you're using watercolor, definitely add water. It's hard to make it move if it doesn't have that little bit of water on it. Your paint starts to buckle like mine does, or your paper starts to buckle. That's all good. You've just got to, when you're finished painting it, you'll wait until it's dry and then put it in between two heavy things like books or something. That'll keep it nice and flat. See, this is what the newspaper's for. Otherwise, we'd be painting on the table. So I'm very messy, so I always end up painting on the table, which is not good. The good thing about starting by doing your edges first, so you go into your little area where your line is, and you do it nice and neatly so you don't get those through those lines, is you can just paint the outside area very simply. So we're just doing all the way around the outside of the tree, around the outside of the chameleon. Don't forget to paint around the outside of his Jubilee Bits. Nice and carefully so we're not going on the edge there. Painting all along. We go nice and carefully along the edges here. If I just show you up here, see how I get my paintbrush and I just go very carefully along that line so that I don't get it. I can just paint all this really easy and quickly because that side doesn't matter as much. We've gotten our beginning bit. Painting it nice and carefully. Always make sure that you're turning your paper. So what you're painting is right in front of you. We don't want to be painting this side if we're right-handed. If you're left-handed, work on the left side. If you're right-handed, work on the right side. So turn your page as you go around so that it's easier to reach. Making sure that you're painting right in front of you. We do not want to be painting on the other side or even painting up here and our hand could be sitting on paint accidentally. We want to avoid that. We want to keep it right in our space. Always try to paint down as well. Painting down is a lot easier. We can control it a lot easier. If we have to paint upwards, we find it a bit more difficult. Our hands just don't do it as well. Keep your workspace nice and clean. So if there's anything in your road, just move it out of the way because you don't want to be bumping into things. and covering that whole area with paint. Paint, paint, paint. Yeah, you can change your background to whatever color you like. You could even, if you wanted to, go crazy, add some different colors inside of your background. You could have blue gradient, you could have a bright pink background, you could have a dark background, maybe it's nighttime. It is up to you. This is your artwork. I'm just here to help you how to make an artwork. How you want to decorate it or make it look is completely up to you. When we come to the tail, this is the tricky bit. So we want to make sure that we're painting just along the edge so that we don't hit that tail. If you need to get a smaller brush to get into those areas, grab a smaller brush. Otherwise, it's all good. Make sure not to paint on the tree, getting all that area. Covering it all. Paint, 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 paint. I'm going to move over to a smaller brush so that I can get these bits here because I'm not able to get those with my big brush. Nice and slowly painting it along. Make sure that wherever you have no paint on your page, you hold your page down because you don't want it to move while you are painting. That would be very bad. It would move around and it would accidentally paint something that you didn't need to. We're getting all these areas. I'm going to paint this little area. I'm almost. Always good as well when you're painting a big section to try and keep the paint strokes going one way. Because if I was painting this little area and I was going left, right, back, front, blah, 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 you can see the paint strokes a lot better, more. So if you keep them going one way, they don't look as out of place. Once you have your chameleon with his background, there's one bit we're missing, isn't there? If you look really closely, there's a gap between his body and the tree trunk. So in here, we need to paint your background color as well. So grab your smaller paintbrush and paint in that little detailed area. And this is going to take a little while because it's so small. Make sure to keep your hand up. We don't want to lie it on the paper because it's still going to be a bit wet. So when we're painting, tilt up a little bit. Use your pinky finger, if you can see. I use my pinky finger to rest, and then I paint with my other. So my pinky finger is out like this, stopping myself from hitting the paper. It's a good little support. Oh, I said it's a support and I accidentally painted on the tree trunk, but that's okay. I will fix it later. This is the good thing about paint is we can just go over it. Getting that whole area. Painting that little square. Keep your paint going the same direction. And again, painting that square. You should be covered in paint like I am. Hopefully you're not as covered in paint as me, but you should have a background coming along nicely. How are we all going with our backgrounds? Oh, I see that Zara's got a green background. I'm liking that a lot. Oh, Isaac, good job. Oh, you're up to your colouring in the tree. That looks so good. You've even got details on your tree. Oh, yes, going good. We're getting paint everywhere. That always happens, doesn't it? I don't know how it does it, but it always ends up all over me. We're all still painting the background. Thumbs up if you're finished the background. I don't think many of you are. Or just about 2, I think. Yeah, about 3. All right, we'll wait a little bit longer to get that background done. If you finished your background and you're waiting, suggestions of just lightly blowing against your background so that it dries a little bit more. So you can just go just to make sure it's nice and dry. It's not going to do a great deal, but it'll do a little bit. Just lightly giving it some blow. Just to make it a bit drier. So we don't, you know, accidentally put our hand on it, look at our hand and go, ah, covered in paint. That's okay. Yeah, covered in paint. You know what the great thing is? You're at home. You can go wash your hands as easy as possible. If you have already finished the background, I want you to think what kind of brown you're going to make for your tree. So if you have brown, grab it. If you want to make it a little bit less kind of, so the brown color I have, I don't like the look of it. It's a bit of a yucky color. See this one here? What I do is I mix this brown color with a little bit of green to make it look more like a tree, because nature isn't exactly perfectly brown. It's got a mix of some other colors around it as well. So you can put it on your little palette, mix your browns and your green, make a really greeny brown kind of color for your tree trunk. I'll show you my greeny brown color. So I get my, you'll see my disgusting color palette, but that's okay. As a true artist, I am messy. I've got my brown color here. I'll put a little bit over to the side. Then I'm going to grab some of my green color. I'll put that in there as well. And then I'm going to mix it together to make that color for my tree trunk. And then I think, oh, that's a little bit too green. Let's add some more brown to that. Yeah. I still think I have too much green. That's okay. Can always add more brown. I'll do a little test. Oh yes, it's very green. Way too green. So I add a little bit more brown, and that is black. A little bit more brown to make my tree color. So the good thing about this is have more brown than green to make it look more natural. Let's try this color out. Oh, that's a very brown color. Oh, I like that one. It's like an olivey dark color. Okay, lovelies. We're up to painting our tree trunk. So start out by adding a bit of water to your color and paint your tree trunk. Now, if you accidentally go over the edges, that's fine. The good thing about this tree is it can be as big as we like. Yeah, look how dark that is. Dark brown. Making sure that we're getting into all those little areas. So being nice and careful along the edges. Again, nice and careful along the edges. Turn your page if you can, so that you can paint along the edges. And use your paper below. See how when I paint all the way out. I don't stop at the edge, I paint all the way out. Because you want to make sure you get all of those edges when you paint. If you need a smaller paintbrush for that little inner area, grab a smaller paintbrush. And get to painting your bit in here. Getting in all of those little spaces. Start off with a little light wash. Don't forget to add water to your paint so that it also moves smoothly and dries a little quicker. Painting around our legs. Coming up along the side. Painting as nice and neatly as we can. If you accidentally go outside, That's all right, we can make it, we can fix it, but just try your best to keep it within those lines. But in actuality, these lines that we are drawing are just drawn for ourselves. So if you want to go outside the box and make some different colors. Also, if you want to do a tree that's purple, go ahead. That would be fun. With some cool trees. You want to make a galaxy tree? That'd be cool. Fix this trunk. Stuffed it up a little bit. Make it a bit better. There we are. Did a little bit of boo-boo. And we're going, when we get to underneath the little Jubilee bits on his neck, make sure that we are being nice and careful not to hit the Jubilee bits. Doing those little wibbles, wobbles for the Jubilees. And again, more wibble wobbles for the Jubilees and the mouth. Along the top of the trunk. And continue it along this bit. Isaac, since you're using texta or crayon, I'm going to ask you to do extra details on yours. So when it comes to the back, you know how this one has all these dots? I want you to do some lines, some dots. Think of some cool patterns you can do. Decorate the whole thing. You're going to put your hand up. Oh, I can't unmute you unless it's there. I don't think it comes up. Oh no, here we are. I think I can do it.
I am doing a sunset background as well.
Ooh, very good idea. I like that. Very good. Thinking outside the box. Good on you.
And I'm not using texta. I am using pencil.
Ah, pencil. Okay, cool. All good. Do you have textures as well in case you want to put some details on top? All right, so we're painting the tree trunk. You're still painting the tree trunk. That's all good. Just going to get all that color in. Getting all that color. Painting that tree trunk area. Oh, someone's holding theirs up. Oh, these are looking so good. We're getting all the tree trunks in. Yes, good job, Zara. Oh, yes, good job, Abigail. Ah, Alicia, that looks so good. I love them. They're so cool. Yours looks so quirky. I love them. Yes, Abigail, a nice purple background. That's cool. Ooh, Addie, very good paint job. All right, Albert, I'll wait a little bit for you to finish the tree trunk. If you are ahead of me, oh, we've only got 20 minutes though. I don't know how long it's going to take us to finish off this painting. Oh, that looks so cool. You've got green for the top and purple for the bottom. I like that one, Natalia. You're not done the background. Oh, I'm sorry, lovely. You might have to leave it for a bit, work on the tree, and then watch the video again. All right, so most of us have finished the background. I mean, the tree. I'm just going to wait on 2 more people to get that one done. If you've finished your tree and you think maybe you could add a little bit of extended work, only if you want to, tree trunks have shadows and light areas. So let's think about where we could put some lighter areas. So obviously a shadow would be underneath where his feet are, but a lighter area would be where the sun comes. So you could grab a bit of a lighter brown. Even if you, maybe if you have a little white as well, you grab a little light color and just add a little bit of detail just by painting a little bit on the top of the branch where the sun would come and hit it. If you can see, it's not very different, but it's just a little bit different just there. So I'll show you on this one. I'm just painting. This is extension. You don't have to do this, but if you want to, just paint just the tip of it. So that's where the light will come and hit. And we just drag it down a little bit so that it looks like a little bit like the sun is hitting that branch. A little extension if you want to add that. For the lovelies that are still doing the background and the branch, please don't do this bit. This is just a little extension bit. So you're just adding a little shadow on the top, little bit of brightness to brighten it up. I know it doesn't look like much, you can't see much, but in person, when you're looking at it, it helps you to see that it's a little bit different color. So that's where the light is hidden. So just a little bit on the top. Just a little bit. Try not to make it too, like it's got to be a little messy. Yeah, my edges are a little bit messy. Why is your paper so big, lovely? You've got a massive one. It's ambitious thoughts. That's okay. See how it blended out just a little bit. So it looks like that's the light area and this is the dark area. Just going to add it just to the bottom bit, a little bit more, so that I've got a light and a dark area. And then blend it out just a little bit. All right, we should all be up to, that looks so good, Isaac. Okay, let's work on the chameleon body. Now for the chameleon's body, I want to ask you to please make this very watery because we're going to add patterns on top of it. So think about making this color nice and wet. So what I do to make my chameleon background, because I want him a bit of a yellowy sort of tingy color, I'm mixing my green with my yellow. If you have a yellow or a green, mix them together to make the yellowy kind of limey green color for his background. So just note, more yellow you add, the more lime it will look. The less yellow you add, the more green it will look. So I just put a little bit on here, and then I add maybe 2 little drops of yellow. So 1 bit green to 2 bits yellow. Or if you want to do a purple chameleon, do a purple one. Maybe even a pink one. You could do all sorts of fun colors for your chameleon. I've lost my paintbrush. Oh, it's here in front of me. Mix your colors together. Make that cool, awesome color. I'm going to put some of that off to the side because I'm going to use that later. Now, we're going to get our water, dip it in our paint, put it back into our palette. And again, so we're going to make it nice and watery. So it should be, I don't know if I can show you. See how see-through this one is? It should be nice and watery. See how we've got super thick down here, watery up here. So we dunk it in the water, and then we put the water back on the palette to mix it in with our paint to make it a little bit watery and a little bit see-through. Oh, these are some cool patterns going on. We're going to do the background for our chameleon. So start off with this big area. We're going to paint his whole big area. Avoid doing his head because we'll do his head a different color. You can paint over his leg if you want to, because we're just going to make that darker green anyway. Or darker, whatever color you have. Painting the whole of his body. See how you can see my brush strokes? Try and make them all go the same way. So keep your brush strokes going the same direction so that it doesn't look as streaky. And it should dry nice and evenly. because it's only nice and watery. His little chameleon, he's so bright. He's having a great day. He's been fed well. He's been put on a lovely log. And he's just having the time of his life. Because it's nice and watery, we can paint it a little bit and then stroke it back and forward, and it will not look streaky. And again, paint it back and forward so it doesn't look streaky. Good thing about it being nice and wet is you can accidentally paint over the back, and it doesn't really matter because you can't really tell. So we've got background color. Make sure painting, covering that whole area. Nice long brush strokes to get that nice and smooth. Oh, sorry about my bun. Oh, some they're looking so good. The next step I want you to do is you're going to get a bit of a smaller paintbrush, and you're going to mix some of that brown color that you used for your tree trunk into the green color that you've used for your chameleon. So you're going to mix the brown and green together. Just a little bit of brown, not too much. And this will be for his legs. So make sure you've got a lot more green than you have brown. I'm going to make his leg colors. It just makes it a bit darker. So a bit of your brown that you use for your tree and a bit of green. We only have 10 minutes. I can't paint Flora. I'm so sorry, lovely. What I'm going to have to get you to do is you're going to have to watch the video back. This green color, we're going to use it for our legs. You're going to use it for your back leg, and you're going to use it for your head. So don't forget to add a little bit of water. Make sure it's nice and see-through. You're going to paint the back leg. You're going to paint the front leg. I decided that I don't like my paintbrush, it's too big. I need to grab a smaller one. Painting that leg. Painting this leg. Getting that whole area covered. It's okay if you can see this paint like that streaky, we'll just go over it again. Painting our legs. Once you've got your legs done, you can move on to your head. If you're ahead of me, pick a color for your Jubilee Bits. So make sure when you're painting the head, you turn it so it's towards you so that we're not having to paint the whole other side of our thing. Make sure not to paint the eyeball because we want to leave that nice and bright. Nice bright white eyeball. If you've finished your painting already, think about what patterns you can add to the background of your chameleon. So you could add different colors in lines, you could add dots, you could add streaks, you could add a bunch of rainbow dots on the back of your chameleon. Otherwise, if you're where I'm at, you're painting the head. Getting that chameleon's face all covered in paint. Now, because it's streaky at the moment, what you'll need to do is wait for this to dry and then paint over it again, and that will stop the streak from looking a bit funny. So I don't know if this is dry, but if I paint over it again, no, it's not dry. Once it's dry, you just paint over it again, and it makes it less streaky. How are we going with our chameleons? They're looking good. We're having fun. Oh, look at that one. That's so cool. I love that. Oh, they look so good. Yes. Awesome. Good job, Tegan. That looks awesome. Oh, I love your background, Muta. It looks so cool. All right, if you're done, what I want you to do is make it patterns. Have some patterns on the back of your animal. Get some dots, get some lines, get some stripes. Maybe he's got a tongue sticking outside of his face and you want to have like a fly in his tongue. Think outside the box. It is time for your Jubilee Bits. If you are up to me, I'm going to do some orange Jubilee Bits. So we're going to do, I'd start with the one below his head. Make sure this paint, so for your Jubilee Bits, it needs to be thick. Don't water it down too much because you want to keep it nice and thick so that it stays bright. This is one of the brightest parts of his body. We want some thick, bright Jubilee Bits. So it's straight line and then Jubilee underneath. So we got some jaw Jubilees. We're going to have some back of the head Jubilees, back of the body Jubilees. My paintbrush is too big, but that's okay. Back of the head Jubilees, nice and thick. The good thing about this is we can just paint right over it. Right over the whole thing. Sorry, Isaac, you have a question, lovely.
So you know how you said to do you know how I'm doing a sunset background and you said to do some stripes at the background? Well, I am doing the chameleon turning into it.
That's pretty cool. That's a cool idea. I like that idea. Your chameleon's like a shapeshift, or chameleons do shapeshift, but he's shapeshifting in the moment.
So he's in a cage and someone's behind him.
Oh.
I put a piece of paper up and it's like a striped and dotted.
I love you've got a whole story for him too. Has he got a name?
Jeff.
Yeah, what's his name?
Jeff.
Jen or Jeff?
Jeff.
Oh, Jeff the chameleon. That's pretty fun. I would like everyone to maybe give their chameleon a name. It can be whatever you like. It'd be quite a fun thing to do. Maybe Jeff needs a collar that says Jeff so that his owner doesn't lose him. Percy. Albert's is Percy. I love that name. Mine needs a scared name because look at him. He looks very scared. He looks like he's seen a lot of sad things going on. Maybe mine should be like, what's a scary name? I guess Shaggy from Scooby-Doo is pretty scared of everything. Maybe it could be Shaggy. Who else is scared of things? I don't remember. Now, if you've got your creature completed, your chameleon, add some stripes and lines. So for his background, for his body, you can add whatever color you like. And we're going to add some like stripes to make him look like he's turning into whatever his background is. I'm going to give him some orange stripes. This chameleon is into the orange color. Nice big orange. Maybe this one's a little longer. The good thing about chameleons is there are so many of them, so many different kinds as well. And they change colors so often that he can be whatever color he wants. My little Shaggy is orange, red, and green. Adding to our chameleon. And these back stripes, do not make them neat. You make them a little wobbly, because as we said, remember in nature is not neat. Nature is organic. It's got all these funny lines. Nothing, or there, I'm not saying nothing. There are some things in nature that are perfect, symmetrical, but most of nature, if you go look at a tree when you walk outside, most of nature grows in a funny shape because perfection is man-made. Nature is a little bit different and changing, much like us when we look at ourselves. Our ears are not the same size, our eyebrows aren't the same, our eyes, etc., etc. That's the fun thing about it. Asymmetry is very interesting. Should have your chameleon. If you're finished and this green bit is dry that we made that was a little bit see-through, what you can do is you can come back and just paint over it, and it should make that see-through area go away. I can tell it is almost, we have 2 minutes to the end. If you are complete, you are more than welcome to head off. If you want to keep going, you are also welcome to stay. I would never kick anyone away. I love having everyone here. It's quite fun. It's good little activities. They're fun activities to do, aren't they? Thursday night is the night to, everyone else is out shopping. We're making art. We're creating. Creating is where it's at. And if you want to spend a little bit of time on this afterwards, what you can do is you can get a black texter. Oh no, I dropped paint everywhere. You can get a black texter and you can outline areas of the body so that you can see them a little bit darker. I dropped texture all over him. That's okay. I'm going to go in and fix his head up. Make it nice and green. If you don't have texture but you've got black paint, maybe you could try and outline it with your black paint. If you're finished, can you show me your work? I want to see how everyone's went. I'm just going to finish this and then I'll put my head up to have a look. Give me 2 seconds. I just want to get this head nice and green. All right, how are we all going? How do we all go with our chameleons? Ah, they look so cool. Yes, that looks awesome. Amazing. Marissa, how did you go with your chameleon? Did you finish it? Ah, so cool. Such a big piece of paper too. Yes, looking so good. Whoa, some cool colors over this side. Ali's got some cool colors. She's got a green one. Puncheng's got some cool. Puncheng, yours looks like Godzilla a little bit too. Yours could take over a city. Very cool, very fun. Ah, Moita, I like your background. Emily, yours has got the stripes. Very cute. I like that. Abigail, good job. Oh, I like your background too. Yes, they're so good. Good job, everyone. All right, if you are all done, it is 6:01. I'm sorry to keep you. You are more than welcome to head off. Oh, we've got a question. Sorry, Marissa, sorry. I will come to you if you want. What was your question, lovely?
I think time is up, everyone. Thank you so much. This is the last class of the term for you. We don't have any activity during school holiday, but if you like the class, support us, come back next term. That's what we want to see and try to be more creative. And enjoy your school holiday as well. Thank you so much. I'm going to unmute everyone now.
Make sure you all sleep. School holidays are for sleeping.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. See you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.